the shelter half was going at that time already, and had a paper that fed up, but the nature of those kinds of things is that you get people in, and then they either get discharged or reassigned to some other place, and so there, it kind of goes, and then it'll fade out. So it's kind of like the tide, and they were kind of in a, in the trough between the waves, and so and just didn't seem to be happening, and the politics were just a little different, and people thought we thought we'd like to do a little different way to do it, and so we really didn't have a lot of truck with the shelter half, but set up a counseling office in downtown Tacoma, an area called Court C, which I think Court C still exists down there, but I don't know what's down there now. But we had a little office there, and we did we organized GIs, and we did counseling, and like I started doing a once a week we would it was kind of like Food Not Bombs. We would provide a food once a week, which was usually spaghetti, and we'd dumpster dive and get the produce and all the different things that we needed, and it was amazing how we came up with, we'd feed like 100 people without even blinking an eye, and it didn't cost us anything because we just dumpster dive for it, and it was amazing. So it was kind of like a Food Not Bombs thing, although Food Not Bombs didn't exist in those days, but the same kind of concept. So we had our fingers in a lot of different pies, and we we got some money from Pacific Counseling Service, and we got we made friends. One of the Catholic priests down there, who still works down in Tacoma with the Catholic worker and all that stuff, a guy named Bill Bixel. And Bix would sometimes he'd have us over to the rectory, and we'd get a decent meal because the rectory was feeding the priests pretty good, and so we get a decent meal. Or we knew a guy who later became a gourmet cook, had a cooking show on TV for a long time, and it was at the time he was the chaplain at the University of Puget Sound, and so he would let us sneak in there and use his. They didn't have Xerox machines in those days; it was mimeograph machines, because they hadn't invented the Xerox machine yet, and so we would crank out leaflets and stuff, on university equipment, because the chaplain would let us in there. And other people, we kind of found our ways in order to be able to do the work we wanted to do on little money. And quickly enough, we organized a group of GIs, and it was called the GI Alliance. And the paper was called the Lewis McCord Free Press.